Today we brought together the current range of Toyota Corollas, their new and fresh looks and technology starting a new chapter in the brand's development. We'll be looking at each model independently, but before we do, we thought it fitting to meet the family first. Hi there, Sean Wilmot. Today we're looking at a triple treat of New Zealand favourites, the automotive equivalent of pavlova, pineapple lumps and hokey pokey. As to the latest generation, well, there's an extraordinary amount of choice in body style, specification level, engine size, and perhaps more critically, fuel type. So we're going to take you through those variations right now. Let's check it out. The Corolla Sedan is an interesting addition to the Corolla family fleet, in as much as it was the last of the Generation 12s to arrive in this country. But when it did arrive, it arrived with a heck of a punch. In the first instance, it's still a Corolla. You can tell that very obviously from the family face here, and of course the blue badge up there, which indicates that this is a hybrid. But what this car does is it actually bridges the gap between the Corolla family and the much larger Camry. Now, a shoulder line ordinarily would sit there and tell you that sends a message of poise and forward motion, but in this case it doesn't. Because it's nice and flat and it carries all the way across all four doors, it comes through and it doesn't lift at all. This gives you a sense of corporate identity. It's just a nice, strong, physical line that delineates the fact that you're looking at a four-door sedan, a full four-door sedan. And that brings us right round to the party trick, which is, remarkably, the boot. This is a huge boot space and it goes all the way through, as you can see, and it's quite deep. And that boot really says it all as far as the sedan is concerned. It's a welcome return to the world of the small sedan from Toyota. So we have a battery pack and we have a petrol engine up the front. Now that petrol engine is a 1.8 litre petrol, just as it is in the hatchback and the wagon, and it returns the same sort of engine efficiency figures, so we're talking 72 kilowatts and about 142 newton meters of torque. But with the battery pack, that kilowatt goes up to about 90 kilowatts, which gives you a little bit more extra juice. Now the Corolla Sedan is one of the nice smooth hybrids that's actually called a mild hybrid because it doesn't require you to plug the car in. As you drive, the battery charges itself, and so there's no need for you to do anything. You don't have to take this car home, plug it in at night, and then worry about unplugging it the next morning or whether you're going to have a power cut in the middle of the night, because this car self-charges. It does everything for you, and that includes making up its own mind as to whether it wants petrol or electric or both. Mild hybrids are an extremely effective way of delivering power around the car, and you can actually see what's happening here on the screen as to where the power is actually going. At the moment, the engine is feeding both the wheels and the battery, which is very cool. If I ease off the throttle, wheels charge the battery. Very simple. This car actually returns a fuel efficiency figure of about 3.5 litres per 100 and emits for that 81 grams of CO2 per kilometre. Now those two figures are really good for both your checkbook and the environment. Being a sedan, it does give you do have to be a little bit mindful of the back end of the vehicle because we are so used now to driving around in hatchbacks, which are considerably shorter. So in terms of handling, I'd say I'd be rating this car as a 5-star plus, because it does exactly what you tell it to do, when you tell it to do it. There's a lot of direct driving consideration, so when you go into a corner, you know exactly where your wheels are going to go. There's no floatiness. It's very unfussy, for lack of a better word. It's a very direct drive system, and I like that. The interior design of the hatchback and sedan are both a little bit more 21st century, while the station wagon is a little more traditional. The dashboard features chiseled lines which are pleasantly aggressive and combines both black piano inserts and silver chrome highlights. The only real telling difference is in the seats, in the fabric, and the main instrument clusters, and the way those instrument clusters present the information to the drivers. Arguably the latest in terms of in-cabin design, the SX sedan seats combine the traditional element of the wagon and the stylish attributes of the hatch in terms of fabric, and no, leather is not an option in either GX or SX specification. Fully equipped with all the Toyota Safety Sense features, however, including blind spot monitoring and reverse camera with forward collision warning, lane departure and assist features, the sedan's biggest difference, on the inside anyway, is the instrument cluster and the way driver critical information is displayed. It's very Camry-like. The blue lit display has a rev counter on the left, speedo in the center, fuel and temperature gauges on the right. Being a hybrid, the SX sedan has 3-function drive mode and an EV-only function. There have been some spectacular improvements over this entire range for this generation. So now we have the body style differences, we have the hatch, the wagon, the sedan, and there's the promise of a crossover SUV to come later on. What we also have is longer and lower profiles across each and every model, and that contributes to the better fuel efficiencies and fuel economies. We also have greater connectivity than we've ever had before. And of course, we also have the benefits of hybrid technology, which is making a huge difference. Gen 12 Corolla is the latest in Toyota Corolla's success story. Try one for yourself.